There's truly a champion that doesn't know how to stay out of this Nivea's circle of death. Watch this, he's going to come right back. He flashes over, and he's going to walk right back into it. During this video, I want to be talking about ARAM. What good is it anyways? ARAM is a good way for new players to learn the mechanics of team fighting faster during this game. You know, yeah, you can do it during Summoner's Rift, or if anyone remembers Twisted Tree Line, you can do it during that, or any one of the other game modes. But ARM is a really good way for new players to learn, 5 really good things about the game that require, a speedy way to get up to practice, get up to speed so that they can actually start playing the game. For seasoned players, maybe it's just to brush up on how team fighting, they can actually team fight with a team, and, maybe it's just to get in there and relax and kind of chill from the Summoner's Rift and stuff like that. But I really think this is a good way for new players to actually start playing the game and understand how the game works. And just doing it at a faster pace makes sense. Because I can do it if I can play a game that's 10 minutes to 20 minutes, then playing like Summoner's Rift, which is going to take me 15 to maybe 45 minutes at most, sometimes longer, but this is a really good way. So we're going to start with, we're going to start with number 5, not number 1, but is item priority, synergy of items. This can really be learned in, to be honest with you, any mode. But the shorter game modes help you run through it faster, giving you more variations at a faster pace. Again, it comes down to this could take, between 10 and 20 minutes instead of 15 to 45 minutes. I can get through these much faster. Now, granted, as you move along in your game experience and you learn more and you do better, you might want to switch to a Summoner's Rift and try out your builds or, whatnot. But understanding the synergies with the champions and the items that they build, and understanding how, as a tank, you want to build, your Sunfire Cape first, and then maybe working the boots based on how the build is on the other team. If it's all AP or if it's all AD, you might want to go with, magic resist boots, or you may want to go with armor. Maybe even getting the boots with the cooldown reduction on them, to help you with your Nautilus, and you want to help with the cooldowns for throwing out your anchor and stuff like that. But really understanding these priorities, which items you should build first, which items you should build second, and the synergy on how these items work together. This is just a faster way to do it. And a lot of the champions actually share the same items. And this is a great way, great mode to experiment with and actually do different things inside of the game to really see what's going to work and what's not going to work. Not everything is cut and dry that the pros play. We're going to play this, or we're going to do this. If you do everything the pros do, it may work, it may work, it may not work. Whatever works for you as a player may not be what works for the pros. Yes, the pros are very set in their ways. They always build this, always build that, always build this. But, they too always go out and try different things to find different combinations of things that they can do to make the champion stronger, or do more damage, or stun longer, or, whatever. Alright, number 4 is know when you're outmatched. Basically, if it's just you against the 5 other the 5 other players, you obviously know you're outmatched at that point, because not many champions can go 1v5. There are some, like Olaf is really good at being outnumbered. Maybe he's a 1v2, 1v3 player. I've seen him, Blabber do even more than that. But understanding when you need to take a fight and when you're outmatched, to retreat back and wait for the rest of your team, maybe retreat back to your tower and hold the tower. That's something that this can really teach you fast. And the problem is you see this in a lot of league games in Summoner's Rift, is they don't know when they're outmatched. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do or when to, back up and try again. Maybe go back and retreat and let the tower take some of the damage, or take some of the throw some of the shots out against the other characters. But understanding when you're outmatched, when it's you're not going to win in this, is definitely a key that this can teach faster than I think Summoner's Rift can actually teach. Now, Summoner's Rift, yes, will teach it, and every player is, you're going to hear me say this a million times, every player is not the same, everybody learns differently, but I think this game mode can really show you what is being played. Now, you can see this right here. This guy was outmatched. He's fighting 1v3, and he's fighting against a Jinx and a Glask, and there's just no way. There's no way he's going to do this. Now, for me, you see me come into this battle, and all I do is clear, go back behind the tower, and then regroup with my other 3 characters. Now, Ari going in, she did not go in alone. She went in at first alone, and there she died. But what that allowed us to do, and as he started doing this, I put a wall up, defensive wall, and backed up to the tower. And again, we did the same thing, and he backed up until the rest of our team got there, and we proceeded to go back in. So you can see, going in on this stuff, 1v3, 1v4, you don't win. So definitely this is one of the things where you need to understand, as a team, you need to play with your team, and you need to do well. It doesn't always happen in ARM, but I understand that, and that's some of the downsides to ARM. Good fights and bad fights. So how do you understand when to take good fights and when to take bad fights? Understanding which fights you can win, or at least trade on. Don't be afraid to die. Remember, in this mode, you're going to die. That's how you get your items. There's no other way to get an item in this mode. And obviously in Summoner's Rift, what you want to do in Summoner's Rift is not die. Definitely you don't want to die. This right here, Ari, that was a bad fight, running into that. She didn't get the kill, and all she did was commit suicide on that. So that's an example right there, straight off the bat, of a bad fight. This Twisted Fate stays alive quite a long time to clear the tower, to keep the minions off the tower. He ends up dying in the end, but he was doing the right thing in this to defend the tower. Now, this is not Summoner's Rift, and this is not what you should do in Summoner's Rift. In a situation like that, you should back up to your tier 2 tower and let them have the tower. You want to stay alive. Summoner's Rift is you want to stay alive, but understanding your game mode and understanding how you're going to buy items, how you're going to do stuff, is definitely, he probably needed to die. He probably needed to buy. He probably needed to do what he's going to do. So with doing that and understanding which fights to go in on, you can see we're all staying behind the tank. We're all behind the tank. So he's going to be our engage, and Nautilus has a great engage of the anchor, and we're just waiting for that engage. You can see now Twisted Fate stepping up, takes some poke, and keeps moving on. And you see the other team moves back because they don't have a good engage. They're relying on their Silas or their Glask to make the engage. Now, I'm poking them out with there it is right there. That's the engage of, and we lost one because picked up. Now I'm going to open up mine, get the Ludens, clear the wave, and then we're going to move back in. But paying attention to these and paying attention to who's your instigator to make this happen is definitely going to provide you skill very fast in this. And like I said, different modes are going to play a little differently, but understanding how to play is core mechanics to any mode. Number 2 is good team fighting practices. These are just the good practices that I was kind of touching on a little bit in the last one, with knowing who the engage is. Like, we know our Nautilus is the engage, and we know that Nautilus is going to do the first pull, or maybe even Ari's going to charm, and from that charm we're going to have the ability to, couple onto that and who's going to be doing the stun, and those are your good team fighting practices, because what you want to do is you want to make sure that everybody is doing the right thing inside of the team fighting, and this is ARM, and of course this will happen in Summoner's Rift, and it'll happen in ARM, it'll happen in any game mode you're playing. There's always going to be a troll, or hopefully you don't get any, but there's always somebody trolling in the game and it's not going to play. But understanding you being a good team participant, and fighting the way you should fight, and actually doing, what you're going to do, is very, very important to the well-being of the team, and how well the team is actually going to play, and how well, they're going to do in any game mode, whether it's Summoner's Rift or here. I just prefer this because, like I said, as long as you can do it here, you can do it anywhere. And this is very random, because obviously the game mode, all random, all mid. It's definitely one of those things that if you can master here, you can master in Summoner's Rift even easier than you can master it anywhere else. One, the most important, and you'll hear me say this time and time again if you watch me live stream, is know your role. Understanding your job in a team. If you're an ADC, be an ADC. If you're building damage and you're an ADC, be an ADC. And I know everybody loves to do damage. Nobody wants to be the tank. But, if you're going to be a tank, you're a Nautilus, and you go damage, then, and there's no other tanks on the team, then we're all kind of screwed, to be honest with you, because nobody wins in an all damage team. It's very rare, especially if the other side has a team or has a tank. Then usually what happens is you get outclassed by that other team. So know your role. Now understand that even if you're playing Misfortune, which is an ADC, and you're playing it as the tank, because pretty much you always need a tank in every one of these. Now there's some that I can tell you that clearly you don't need to be a tank, but let's say you're playing the tank because look, hey, I've had a lot of great games, I've been ADC, I've been AP, I've been it all. I need to step up and be a tank in this. I'm going to do it as Misfortune. It can be done. It is not easy, but it can be done. And guess what? You're not the ADC in this. You need to play tank items. You need to be the tank in the game, and you need to support everybody else. So Misfortune is just an example of it. It can be done. It doesn't have to be done that way, but it can be done that way. Just understand that the key answer to this is know your role and be that person on the team. It's as simple as that. I'm going to let you watch the rest of this match of me playing Anivia on it. I really love playing Anivia. I think she's a great mid. She's still very viable. She's not S tier, but she is absolutely still very viable. And you can see in this, I do very well. I know my role very well. My role is 100% to be a stun after the engage and do damage. Ari is charm, damage, you see me stop right there, you see me stop Nautilus and stop him from going over that line, because I did not want to go through that line. And it's very simple. A lot of times you want to prevent somebody from doing something that they shouldn't do, because, maybe they don't know no better, maybe that it's just the way they are. And they're not great. They're not great players, but they're trying to be better. So understanding exactly how to prevent people from doing things and being better at it is, it's almost like being the bigger person, right? And understanding that, look, you need to do things in the game to be better, so that, like, I put up a defensive wall there. And then I flash here just to get out of range of that, because that actually does damage. So now here I am, stun. Gives them the ability to finish off that champion. I wasn't trying to get the kill. I wasn't trying to do the damage, but I was supporting my team, even though I was so low on health. that so they could get the kill and we could win this match, because in the end that's what it comes down to, right? Is winning the match. And until you win the match, you know, it's any other's game. And yeah, granted, you don't have to win every game. It's not about that. But see, and here you'll see me stun the guy right there, and I back away from the fight and let them take the kill. You know, it's not always about you getting the kill. Sometimes it's just about supporting your team and, you know, helping them get the kills so you can move forward. And this goes for Summoner's Rift. This goes for, you know, ARM. This goes for any game mode that you play. Even maybe it's Earth you're playing. You know, in Earth, everybody's skills are off the chain. You see, I'm staying as far away from this guy as possible because I know what's coming. I wait until he uses the ult he stole, and then I'm going to go help him up here. And they put that on him, so what do? I stay with Ari because she has a snowball on her, you know. So I block his way out, go to stun, pushes him back, so it gives him more time. Again, just making space for my team to get away, put the wall up defensively so that they have to go the one way. And what did I do? I pushed the minions back, killed the minions, and kept them going. We're going to grab this heal here, and then we're going to move back in to finish the game with just the 4 of us. I believe one of the other player comes. I clear the wave. Actually, Ari cleared that wave. I apologize. And I'm just waiting in the bushes, hidden. I'm waiting for him to overstep, to get out of place. And I put that wall up defensively just so that it could stop him, because he goes invisible in that shroud that he creates. So I wasn't trying to block Nautilus there. All I was trying to do was keep him from coming on to me. He grabs Miss Glass, so what do? I go in, stun, I pop him. He's trying to kill me because they figured out that they need, because what I'm doing to them is I'm literally just owning them in the back. I'm just literally staying in the back and basically creating space, creating area, and doing DPS over time in the back. Anyways, I'm going to let this finish. I hope you guys have fun watching this and learn some things and become better at League.
Something has destroyed a turret. Shut down. Let's soar. executed.